The latest news on Russell Brand and the allegations made against him shows that the police might be getting involved with this, which some people would probably say is bad news for him, but I think this might ultimately be beneficial to his case. Right now, I have this article pulled up from Deadline. Russell Brand returns to Rumble with attacks on conspiracy legacy media. UK police step up investigation into sexual assault allegations. So scrolling down into the article, it just talks about 4 women made these allegations against him. The comedian turned to his daily Stay Free show on Rumble, a video streaming service favored by free speech advocates as an alternative to YouTube, which demonetized Brand's channel last week. I'm frankly surprised that they would refer to Rumble as a free speech alternative to YouTube. I mean, usually a lot of media outlets try to characterize it as like some like far right type video sharing site or something like that, or a far right alternative to YouTube, but I think that's actually a pretty generous characterization by saying it's a free speech alternative to YouTube, because yeah, that's what a lot of people do. I mean, me personally, I have a Rumble channel. I don't really post anything on it. I mean, it's more or less just mirrors my YouTube channel, but I have it there just as an alternative or as a backup to my YouTube channel. During his show, Brand questioned whether he was being silenced by legacy media after the Times, Sunday Times, and Channel 4 published allegations against him. Brand denies all criminal wrongdoing. And it's worse than actually just having the media go after him, because we did get reports, at least information from Rumble saying that they were contacted by UK lawmakers asking them if they're going to demonetize Russell Brand, which, say what you want about him. You can believe whatever you want about him. I mean, me personally, I like to see evidence before I make a conclusion. But if you think he's guilty, that's fine. But you should have to at least admit this shouldn't be the standard where someone gets their whole livelihood taken away just because of an allegation. I mean, imagine if someone who doesn't like you, it just decided like, I'm going to pay someone to make an allegation against you. And then they do that. They don't go to the police. They don't file a police report. They just go to like the media or whatever and say this person did this and that's it. Should you lose your whole livelihood as a result of that? No. I mean, I would maintain that you should have your day in court. If there's an allegation against you, it's like, okay, well, let's see the evidence. I mean, is there a police report? I mean, how serious should I take this allegation? I mean, me personally, I mean, if they're not willing to actually go file a police report, then I have a hard time trusting it, because I mean, I don't know what the laws are in the UK, but I know in the US, if you file a false police report, then that's a crime. So if you're not even willing to risk that, then that indicates that you're probably not the most credible source. Or I'm not saying it's definitely the case, but I mean, I always try to judge things like, okay, that's a point against you if you're not even willing to file a real police report, especially if you're going to make an allegation anonymously. But if you are willing to actually file a police report and put your name to the allegation, well, then I think that's a little bit more credible. Still should see more evidence, but I think that lends a little bit more credibility to the whole case. So that is pretty bad that the UK lawmakers were trying to just take his channel away from him just by allegations alone. But I mean, that is what happened here. The show streamed soon after the Metropolitan Police announced that it would investigate allegations of sexual offense in London and elsewhere in the UK. We continue to encourage anyone who believes they may have been a victim of a sexual offense, no matter how long ago it was, to contact us, police said. So, yeah, on his Rumble channel, he basically just kind of thanked his audience for sticking with him and stuff like that, who are following him. And what it say? It was like, oh yeah, around 86,000 people are watching it at its height. And that's kind of why the UK Parliament or UK lawmaker, was trying to get his channel taken away, because he does have a big voice, and he's basically going against their narrative right there by just making an allegation. And like, yeah, that he's actually talking to a lot. I mean, that's a big audience for someone on an alternative media site. So they're kind of scared of having someone like that, or at least that's what he would claim, is that they're scared of having him being able to speak out like this, which is unusual for a person to have this kind of allegations against him, have this kind of an audience. But I mean, that's just the way we live right now. And like I said, if these are true allegations, then I hope he serves the rest of his life in prison, because they are pretty egregious. But again, I need to see the evidence first. I mean, I can't just go by what someone says, especially anonymously. And that's why I think these police reports ultimately are going to benefit. I mean, these police investigations are going to benefit him, because if the police investigate this and then come back and say we couldn't find any evidence of wrongdoing, well, that's almost a vindication for Russell Brand. I mean, people can say like, oh, you were accused of this. And then it can be like, yeah, but I was cleared by the police. some anonymous people reported to the media that these happened, or the media found 4 anonymous women that said they were willing to say these things. And then the police said, no, that didn't happen, or we didn't find evidence of that. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be some people out there who would say like, oh, he was accused. But I think in the minds of a lot of people, it's like, that's pretty clear right there. Now, if there is some evidence and it goes to court and he's acquitted, then yeah, that's another thing that you can do, is like you can acquit him. So basically, by having the police actually get involved with this, it almost offers a path to redemption, because when you just have the allegations to the media anonymously by themselves, from there's no path to redemption for him. There's only he was accused of something and that was it. Some people would like believe things like I do, where you need to see evidence, but there's a lot of people that's their image. But I mean, then if they hear like, okay, but he was cleared by the police, and it's like, okay, he was cleared. And I think that's where the kind of like the public opinion will shift on this. So having the police involved can't help him. But I mean, people who are just if they are just trying to smear him, that's not a good sign right now. And right now they're really hammering down on he's a predator sort of thing. I mean, this from the Independent. BBC says reporting on Russell Brand allegations has been proportionate and fair following complaints. Broadcaster said it received messages from viewers who complained that its coverage of Russell Brand allegations went overboard. And I think this lends credibility to his accusation that the media is just trying to smear him, because it seems less like they're trying, because the way they're covering him, they're just trying to go overboard with it. And even viewers of the BBC are starting to notice, like, okay, we get it. You, as the news, you're informed that this happened. So why do you keep hammering down on this and keep reiterating that this is what happened? And it seems less likely that they're trying to just be informative or whatever, and more likely that they're just trying to, like a company when they're having a branding campaign, they just kind of this is the message that we're trying to get across, and we just kind of keep putting it out there and just hit people over the head with it until they finally get it. And that's when they think of our company, this is the message that they think of. And I think this is what the media is trying to do with Russell Brand, which is why they're giving this kind of coverage to him. And I mean, obviously, I don't know for a fact that that's what they're doing, but I mean, according to Russell Brand, he's a competitor to them. He has a huge audience, and he kind of goes against the narrative that they're actually given. So maybe there is some validity to this. I don't know. I mean, either way, I mean, it doesn't look good for the media when they just, when several media outlets get together, find some random people that are willing to make accusations against him, and then you just kind of hit people over the head with this to the point where they're actually saying like, okay, enough's enough. Well, I mean, what's the deal here? And in a way, I have my doubts whether the police are going to uncover anything from all of this, because I mean, these are allegations from like 20 years ago. I mean, it'd be hard to find any actual evidence to convict off of. And the way the media is covering this, I think it is just going to lend credibility to what Russell Brand is saying. That like, yeah, they're a controlled opposition. They have their messaging. They're given their talking points from someone in the UK government who are trying to silence him specifically. And so that more or less is going to help him. It's basically going to turn him into a martyr when this is all said and done, unless they do find some evidence, in which case, then like, yeah, I hope he does go to prison. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure you click the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.